So my name is Ernest Okot. I am the CEO and founder of MedX International. At MedX International, we're trying to make digital. Sorry, can I go again?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Can be specific Uganda?
Huh?
CEO Uganda specific.
It's just one company.
Yeah, okay.
There's no other.
Yeah.
It is one company.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So my name is Ernest Okot. I am the CEO and founder of MedX International. We are based here in Kampala, in Uganda. So we work in the digital health space. We work with hospitals to help them make their laboratories more efficient. I'll start with the problem. So lab testing is very important. More than 70% of medical decisions made by doctors are based on lab results. And also, most people's medical data is filled with lab results. So lab results are very important, especially in this day and age. But labs often don't perform very well. More than half of lab tests take longer than they expected. This is based on the studies which have been conducted. So you find there's a very big divide. Labs are needed. Lab tests are very important, but they do not come out in time. And also, it's very hard for labs to produce these results in the quality that is expected. So I've seen lots of studies that look into why labs take long or why they come out with errors. And it is said that most of the errors and delays, about 93% of the errors and delays, come from things that happen before and after the test, right? I mean, like a lab machine can do a test in 3 minutes. And there's nothing you can do about that machine. If it's 3 minutes, it's 3 minutes. But you find a test which can run in 3 minutes on a machine, takes 4 hours to come back to a patient. And this is what we are trying to address here at MedX. So most of the delays come from everything that happens before it comes to the machine and everything that happens after it leaves the machine. So like before, like a doctor will order a test, then they will send the patient to the lab. Then the patient will come to the lab. In most places, they have to write down the name of that person and their information. Then after that, they have to take their sample and then probably write on the sample tube again. Then they have to transport this sample from the area where the sample has been taken, and then they have to take it all the way up to the laboratory where it has to be received, it has to be prepared, and it has to be then tested. After the testing, the machines will produce the results. Then someone has to go and type them in. After that, then someone has to interpret them. Then you find someone has to sign it and approve it and then stamp it. Then they have to come and look for the patient again and give it to them. So as you can see, most of the processes in between there are things which are very much related to information, right? From the name that is written to the signature and the stamp to typing these results from the machine. So this is what we are trying to solve. We are trying to remove all the manual steps from the testing process so that tests can be performed much faster. And we have done this with much success. In almost every lab we are working in, we are able to reduce the turnaround time for tests by up to 80%, just by digitizing this paperwork, and then by also integrating like the machines, so that they don't have to manually type what the machine is producing, and then by automatically sending these results back to the doctor or via SMS or email to the patient. So through these various digitization and automation, we have been able to cut down the time it takes for these test results by up to 80%. Said accuracy.
Yeah, how does it ensure data accuracy, integrity, and security across these different healthy facilities?
Yeah. So accuracy and integrity are key parts of a test results or even of a lab information system. Like the results have to be accurate for them to be useful for the doctor and the patient. All right. So we try to make sure that results are as accurate as possible, and there are many ways we do this. Number one is if the result is done from the machine, we do not allow people to type it manually. These results have to come directly from the machine and then come into the system. Then, as part of ISO 15189, labs are required to review all their test results. So we also give them an interface where they can review these results and then have another person approve them. So there are two steps in the review process. There's the review, then there's the approval. So it's only when a result is approved that it leaves the lab and now goes out to the doctor or to the patient. So first having them come from the machine, then having them reviewed, maximizes the chance that this result is as accurate as possible. Aside from that, lab results need to be like interpreted properly, right? If you say you have a CRP of 5, what does that mean to a patient or to a junior doctor who may not have very much experience understanding what these medical terms mean? We have made a lab report that clearly highlights to people, like, so that they can know what these things mean. Like, even if they don't know lots of the medical terms, they can still see like clearly that this is red, this is green, this is yellow. So this is something else we are doing to help junior doctors and patients to at least have an understanding of their results, right? And this is computed by our complex interpretation engine that will take into the account like rules that have been set by the lab technicians, like between this number and this number should be seen as a bad thing. Between this number and this number is a good thing. So our lab staff are able to configure all these details, and then it comes out as a beautiful report that can show you if your test is positive or negative, or if a certain number is too high or too low, in a way that you as a patient can understand, but also like doctors who may not have so much experience can also get some guidance from that. Then in terms of security, this is a very important aspect. Also, MedX is actually ISO 2701 accredited, which means we have all the processes in place to make sure that data is secure. A few of the things we do to make sure that data is secure is that, first of all, like, we have every part of the system needs to be logged into by an authorized staff who works in the lab, and they use their email and passwords to log in. And if they don't use the computer for like 5 minutes, it will log them out automatically. So about security, we are an ISO 2701 accredited company, which means we have all the processes in place to keep patients' data safe. For one, all the functions of the system are behind a login, so people have to log in before they can access the system. And also, if they don't use the system for at least 5 minutes, it will automatically log them out, and this is very useful in places like a hospital where most of the computers are shared and they have to keep logging in, so it will automatically log them out. Then we also use encryption. So like when someone is accessing the system, it uses HTTPS like to make sure that everything is encrypted as it's being transferred between the different between the server and the computer they're using. We also have we also do backups every day at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. We back up all the data that has been processed on that day. We also have different roles and different permissions to make sure that people who are authorized can access the data and people who are not authorized cannot access the data. We also have privacy mode, which can be used like to hide like patients' personal information. This is useful for staff who don't need to see like patients' information, but they need to access the system. So in the system, we have a robust sample management component, which tracks the sample from the time when it's collected to the time when it's disposed or stored. And the system has an audit trail that shows you a timeline of events: who received the sample at what time, who did the test on that sample at what time, and then and also on which machine did they do that. Then also who discarded the sample and at what time, or like who stored the sample in what fridge, in what rack in the fridge, and in which position of the rack. So with such, it's possible to like completely audit a sample and see at what point it might have gotten lost, or at what point something is not like in line. So our audit trail has been used numerous times. Like for example, back during COVID, when we were helping COVID-19 labs, often during disputes, they would print the audit trail and then use it like to basically ascertain what really happened. So this is something which has been tested and used, and also it has been used by labs who are trying to fight fraud amongst their staff. So they look at the audit trail and see what really happened, and it has really been used to find very peculiar cases. So it has been useful for like so many purposes, and I'm very confident it can be also used to track samples and to track the chain of custody of a sample.